All right, it's Trevor here from Trade On Point. Like to say welcome to everybody. We're just coming into the session now. Currently 7:26 in London. Coming into the London session, we can see we've got a nice sell-off here on the Dow Jones. I'm just going to finish getting my chart set up here. And we will go from there. All right, so welcome again. My name is Trevor. I'm from Trade On Point. Today we're going to be doing some live trading on the Dow Jones, potentially the MCL, which is the micro crude contract. We've also got the micro Dow in front of us. Time now is 26 minutes past 7 in London. Markets are going to go into the open. We We'll just finish getting the chart set up and we will go from there. So just for transparency, so I am trading on a MetaTrader 5 account. We are addressing this. So I've got the MetaTrader 5 account, which I do the trading because we're running the 2K challenge at the moment with Trade On Point. However, the charts in front of me are traded from NinjaTrader. So sometimes I will be taking those on a live account. Sometimes I'll be taking those on a simulated account. However, I'm always going to be taking the trades that I take on here will be taken on my my top 2K account. So we will be playing with real money, of course. Otherwise, there's no point to trading. The values that I tend to use in the room is the 3-minute chart. The reason for that is we do trade the open. We try and get 1 or 2 trades fired off in the open, and we want to trade that volatility. So we're really just looking for 1 or 2 trades per session, and then our trading's done. Then we'll go on to chat about what's happening in the markets. I have something, and I'll explain the way that I trade. We'll just get rid of these. I'll trade exactly why I take a trade, how I take a trade, what I look for in the market, how I manage my risk. Now, first things first is we're not a trading signal service provider. There are plenty out there, and we welcome you to, if you just want to take signals and have other people trade your account, then do your research and then go and look for either someone that does managed accounts or just does signal service providers. The problem is that there's so many signal service providers, and a lot of them unfortunately don't get the results that one would hope. Now, however, what we do offer is, first of all, it's free. It doesn't cost you a cent, and we do try and show you how we trade the markets to try and show you that, yes, believe it or not, you can make money in this market, much like a lot of people say you can't. And and secondly, how to trade a small account into a large account. That's our current challenge at the moment. So again, full disclosure, we have obviously other accounts that we do trade. We also have options. We do trade both options on equities as well. So we trade a number of things here at Trade on Point. But for this session, we just scalp the or day trade, depending on which term you want to use, the London Open. And we do that using the Dow futures. Now, the Dow futures, again, they move quite well. The Dow futures will move nicely during the session. However, one of the questions we always get asked is, why don't we trade the FTSE? Why don't we trade the DAX? Why don't we trade? We did try the DAX yesterday. It still just hasn't got that volume. You're still getting a little bit too much slippage because when you actually have a look at order flow, there's not really a lot of orders in the market. Right, so we are set up, ready to go. Happy days. And again, if you are watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on either YouTube or on Facebook, one of the things that we do find is, unfortunately, we do have a delay between us and YouTube. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do about that. I wish there was. I wish I could say differently, but there's not. So if you want to get a proper feed, well, it's probably an insult to YouTube, I won't say that. YouTube is great, but YouTube is free, and we appreciate the fact that we get to use it. But like I said, there is that delay. So if you want a delay, if you want next to nothing delay, less than a quarter of a second, depending on your internet connection, either go to tradeonpoint.com.au and sign up to what we call our 90-day trial. The trial is, at the moment, the new kid on the block. We want to try and get some users and some members, and therefore we are not charging you at this point. So you'll definitely get the 90-day trial, and once we're ready to start charging, we'll get the 90-day trial from then. And the other point I'd like to point out is you then go to click meeting and you put in your credentials. Like I said, there's no payment, there's no credit card, just simply it's your email and your name. Please don't put Daffy Duck, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse. We've had it all before. If I'm speaking to William, I don't want to call William Daffy Duck. The other thing is, unfortunately, given the licensing requirements, we are unfortunately, and we'll be working on this, unable to provide any services in Australia or New Zealand to Australian or New Zealand residents, given the stringent rules, but they are there for a reason, and we have to adhere to them. However, there's a nice trade on the CL that happened an hour and a half ago. Again, we're not a signal service provider. We teach you how we trade, how we manage risk, and trading our own accounts. So please, people do it all the time. They just take our trades. We can't stop it. We can't stop them. But we certainly don't recommend it, because we don't know we don't know the size account that you're trading, or how much you have to trade, or what your risk profile is. And I've had it in the past when I was working in finance. I would see people literally taking a mortgage on their house and essentially just put in a sizable amount that they could never afford to lose. I remember at one point, taking a trade, and I was trading a managed account, and the guy said to me, he goes, and we were short the Australian dollar. The Australian dollar at the time was trading around about 110 or 110 to the US. It was above parity, and and secondly and we were long the Japanese yen. and we were long futures on the equities markets. And the account, we were down about probably 3%. They were swing trades, long-term trades, and anyway, phoned me up and absolutely, destroying me on the phone, telling me, oh, I've got to pay him back, and this is ridiculous, and how. Anyway, so he went out and unfortunately he just closed all positions. He took the loss and he carried on abusing me for some time until such point as the Australian dollar pretty much halved. The Japanese yen went up by over 30%, and the equities markets, as you know, rallied from around the 7,000 where we got in right up to pretty much where we are today. So he would have been worth a sizable sum of money. We're talking hundreds, if not over $1 million. But like I said, he just couldn't manage the risk and shouldn't be trading or investing if that was his position. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to close my door. Change glasses here. We don't need the. All right. So we can see crude oil. It's had this rally about an hour, just over an hour and a half ago. We can see the Dow futures pretty much not doing anything at the moment. Looking at the longer term charts, let's just go through them. The 4-hour chart on the Dow Jones, we can see that we're still making lower highs on West Texas. We are pretty much, we had that rally yesterday. It's come back down. It looks like it wants to rally again. It's going to be interesting. I'm quite excited to trade crude at the moment because crude's been in the news quite a lot. It's interesting to see where it goes. I enjoy trading crude. I was on a futures desk for one of the major players when crude when everybody was saying that crude was going to go to 150. Crude rallied like hell. And I'll never forget, we had this guy take short positions on crude. He was just over leveraged on crude, and I ended up having to call him up and say, I'm terribly sorry that your account has gone into margin. He was trading a $22 million account. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's unfortunate for nobody. Fortunately for him, the day after I phoned him, crude crashed. And straight away he went out of margin and he ended up making millions of dollars. So it was a good result, although his trading was a little bit cowish. So normally we've got about 20 minutes to go. Before the open, we will see volume come in as the markets open. So we'll just go through some of the news that we've got coming out. You see, nothing's pretty much going on. I'm quite surprised. I don't know why. I've got to have a look at this. But normally my camera appears somewhere on the screen, and it's not doing it today. Anyway, we won't let it spoil the mood. But it's just nice for people to see who they're actually talking to. All right, there we go. So crude's just broken the low value area there. So that's 35.14 is the low value area, as you can see on the right hand side of my CL chart. So I'm going to be taking a short position on that CL. Let's get my DOM sorted out. We'll link them as blue. We'll link them as orange. We're going to go blue. Okay, so bear in mind that what we see here is not the actual, and it's not the actual dollar amount. We're going to put it on points because it's. So again, I have taken a trade, as you saw. I took a trade on my top 2,000 account or top 2K account, but I am going to be because I need the CL, and unfortunately, the account that we have, not unfortunately, well, unfortunately, the broker that we use doesn't offer Ninja Trader anymore, which is a great shame, because I enjoy Ninja Trader. I'm also going to short the I'm also going to short the Dow Jones micro contract, and again we'll put it on, and I've done that on my top 2K account as well. So this we'll put a buy limit at the previous low. Now, where I get my targets from is I actually have my fibs and everything and previous support and resistance sitting on my MetaTrader charts. Although I don't have a lot of support on that. I mean, the first bit of support is over 34. It's a 200 points away. So, no, I need a bit more short-term support than that. Yeah, there's not a lot on here. Let me see if I can adjust my indicators because, well, I mean, they set up pretty well. but I do need. We are sitting around about our entry price at the moment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put into the. We've got 11 minutes to go. So for those of you that do watch us on YouTube or Facebook, I'm just going to put the live stream into our way to register into the Facebook or the YouTube chat, because like I said, you will get it's terrible if you don't get if we're doing something and it's 10 seconds before we actually we're pretty much out, and you guys think that that's where we are. But it also doesn't, for transparency, doesn't look good, because of the we want you to see us trade live and not via delayed 10 seconds. So not messing around. At this point, we have to get our mojo on, because we're going to see this market pick up quite quickly. All right, so I'm just having what I'm doing in the background here. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. What I'm doing in the background here is I'm actually just going through some of the events that are coming on today. And I use various websites to go and have a look. We can see still sitting at our entry price. But ultimately, if we look at the news, come on. Not what are we now? 8 o'clock, 10 to 8. 9:30 is our next set of news. 1:30, we've got PPI coming out, monetary policy reports coming out of Canada. The Canadian overnight rate doesn't affect the markets as much, but will have some impact on the market. We've got the Fed president or Fed chair Powell will testify today. That's at 5 p.m. London time. That's going to move the market, and it's going to be a whole bunch of blah blah blah. That's the thing. I mean, let's face it, guys. This market is just ridiculous at the moment. Every time the market wants to settle, we just get this heap of stimulus going into the markets and propping the markets up. So I think we could be setting ourselves up for obviously with the hyperinflation, or you say inflation is going to get out of control. I think that's my personal opinion, not financial advice. And we're going into a bubble. I mean, come on, this market needs to pull back about 10-15% at least. I would say 15% is more likely. And that's pretty much all the news. I mean, none of that news will really affect us because we'll be done. By the time the actual news comes out. But what we do know is that the market's going to be quite slow with that significant news events coming out, because people want to wait for the news to come out and then obviously they'll trade into it. But we'll see. So okay, currently up 13 points. So just to give you an idea, and like I said, this account I am trading. So it's on a micro account. It's only $7. It's $70 on it. Or now up 10, 50, 11. I can see on my live account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my stop loss to break even. It's not giving you this money back. I mean, I'm such a blabbering away for half an hour to earn that money. And our crude price, let's just move our target down a little bit. 5 minutes to the open. So, and what will happen is the open will come in, it'll either take us out of the market or down up 25 points. It'll take us up pretty quickly, or it'll just sell off, and we should be able to get another 25 points out of this. Let's have a look what we're doing. We are sitting on some support there. We're certainly sitting on some support. But if we can get down another 10 points, it's away we go. So you can see 4 minutes to the open. It's whether we can hold. I mean, our stop is so tight; it's 16 points away. In the Dow, that's a drop in the ocean. Crude's moving up. just comes down to be slightly weighted more towards the bid. So hopefully we'll hit the bid, not the offer, as we go into the open here. Crude is starting to pull away. That if I don't want to stay in this crude contract more than I have to, because crude now is having contradicting signals. I pulled back below my 80 trigger line. My Woody CCI is above the 0 line. I'm now getting a green background. Not really smoking hot for my trade. 2 minutes to the open. What we can do in that quick 2 minutes, if we quick enough, we'll just throw some market depth on, and we can have a look. Okay, I'll hit in the bid at the moment. Still hitting the bid. Here we go. I'm going into the open. Testing that low. This is the low. So remember, let's get our CCI. It's minus 200. So we've got to be careful of that. Like I said, 2 minutes. This we could be out for break even in about 2 seconds flat here. Let me just see what we need. 33 points. I mean, 33 points is a good. It's on a mini contract. You're looking at $160 since I've been talking here. $150. But that's, I don't like that CCI minus 200 there. Where's my market depth one? Crude going up as well. Gotta watch that crude price. One minute to go. Okay, and we're into the open. Trying to head lower. Okay, I'm out, guys. I'm out on my account. We'll just close off this because that's not relevant anymore. So I took there 0978. $31 points. So that's a 31-point gain on the down. Guys, I'm just going to mute my mic for a second. Hi. How's it going? I'll go and check now. Let me just mute my microphone. I'm sorry about that. We just got a delivery on its way. And the last week in a bit of food, why not? So the question is, do we take this long? Right. What I want on this is I would like to, this is the left-hand chart, the Dow Jones Micro Futures. I want to see a print of, I want my pain point indicator to change green, break the tags box. Right now, the only thing that's giving me a long signal is this background. Still going to watch that print contract. We're still open on that. We've got the background. The 80 trigger is going in our favor. I'm just going to actually 80 trigger. Want that on. Okay. Show me what it's likely to end up. $75 for oil. But I remember not so long ago when oil went negative. Oil sitting because they had problems at what's it, Cushing, I think it's called, where they had the oil storage. They just couldn't store oil, and futures contracts actually went negative, and a lot of people made a lot of money by buying crude. Potential long on the Dow Jones. Looking at daily chart, I just, although I've been saying this for a while. The 4 hour on the Dow and the hourly is obviously fine, not significantly. I'm liking the way the market looks at the moment. It didn't have that strong open, but remember we have that news that's coming out later today. So I would imagine everybody's waiting for that. We can see crude starting to sell off. I'd like to see crude maybe get down to, if we can get crude down to 74.95. Is that possible? During the session. So we've made today just under 1%. Our target is 1% today. You can see that the Dow's pretty much, you've got those candles of indecision. So what did we say we made on that last trade that we did? So it's important to log your trades. Important to log your trades every day, because then you know how you are performing it, so that when you have a bit of a down day, you can remind yourself of the positive days you had before. Top VK trading. What have we got? Entry. So first trade was a short. 34,709, 34,709. Exit was at 34,608, 678. So to me, that gives me 11 points. So I'll put profit plus 11 points. Your second trade, short, and what are we short on the actual top 2K account? 7509. What are we short? So the same price as the Ninja Trader, 7509. Exit. No, we don't know whether it's profit or loss at the moment. So here's the die going nuts. So like I said, nothing major coming out. We're a couple cents in profit on price. We did try, when you look at the one of the things I've always generally had on my charts, which I have on separate charts, here is the Ichimoku Cloud. I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly, but I've been watching it for over a decade, well over a decade, probably 2 decades, and there's certain indicators, and we kind of go through this each session. Is indicators are great because they're just algorithms, and it's putting the same algorithm. So in fact, if you look at my chart here, the right, and let's look at the crude oil chart. This paint bar indicator that we've got going here is a different indicator to this green. So the fact that you're getting 2 here, that's confidence, and the fact that you're getting 80 trigger fire now. So it's not like it's going to do it all the time, because you can see here. In fact, when we shorted this, we had the green paint bar and the red background. And likewise, before, when we had that trade that failed, we had the green paint bar, but we didn't get above the trigger line. So you see what I mean. So now it's actually printing another short. But in a sideways market, you can get a lot of chop. So that's why we just got to be careful. Now I know where my stop is. My stop is sitting up here. We're at 75.20. So that's some 11 cents from market price. So then I need my target to be more than 11 cents. So, but my target really, I'd like to try and take it maybe down to here. And then have my stop somewhere like that. But we'll see how we go. We may even put a stop above this recent high or above the high value area. Just have a quick look at what the 5-minute chart's doing. We had the sell off, hit the top of the Tanner's box. Really shitty market today. Even on 2-minute chart. 2-minute chart you can really scalp, but then there's no point doing them wrong because it's you're in and out of trade so fast people can't even follow what you're doing. And what I'll want to do as well is if we just get that market depth out, we'll just swap that over to the CL, which is West Texas Crude Light. Again, you can see, I mean, we're really getting conflicting signals. Let's stick on a 5-minute chart and get yes, that 3-minute chart's printing too many false entries. Luckily, we can see exactly what we're doing where, because I'm looking at the bigger time frames as well. Oh, hang on, let me. Yes. Right. So, guys, we've had one trade so far. We had 30, that should be 31 points on the Dow. That was our opening trade for the session. So if I go and I put my, and just so that you, probably the best way to do it is just to put my markers on. So this was a trade that was a swing trade that I had going on, and then I've got the sell here 34,710, close at 34,675. But like I said at the beginning, for full transparency, we trade on the MetaTrader account next door. But my indicators, unfortunately, the broker that I'm using at the moment used to have the NinjaTrader capabilities, but they don't do it anymore for some unknown reason. So this is the contracts going through our CL at the moment, as you can see. We are pulling offers off the bid at the moment. So we can see that the market on the CL is pretty much sideways at the moment. We had this nice little sell-off, into a double bottom and then back into a rally. And unfortunately, we are pretty much just going sideways. I mean, you can see a little bit of support down here, retested 75.05. I mean, we said it, but it's not even a trend at the moment. There's nothing really technically that we can look at it other than, just watch our indicators. You can see even the Dow Jones completely sideways. We've got 8 minutes to go until the end of you can see that the chance boxes have set up. We've got the high value area at 75.22, low value area at 75.08, putting controls sitting at 75.14. entry price. Hopefully we can go down, retest those lows. You can just push down a little bit. I mean, you can see even looking at the Dow Jones micros. I mean, yeah, terrible. Sideways movement for, especially for this time of the session. We'll have a look at the news again just to see if there is anything that we missed. Now, one of the things I use Forex Factory, but I also use if I just bring this up, so you can go onto one of the sites, MetaTrader indicators that we are together with. And obviously there's our ad trade on point. So MetaTrader indicators basically is about 2,000 indicators, 2,500 actually, and getting higher at the moment. Free indicators that you can download, but one of the features on here is the calendar. So if we go into the calendar, we can see what's next to come out. So it's 12. So we're just going to GMT time. You want to adjust this quickly, which is probably going to mess up everything at the moment. Here we go. Still watching the charts, don't worry about that. So local time, let's have a look. So local, we do use London time. So 11 o'clock, Saunders speech, consumer price index, producer price index. It's obviously the PPI, and then PPI month to month. That's coming at 1:30. So, like I said, it's after. But I find that this calendar, even though it's is better than it gives you a little bit more news, and you can choose which news you want to commit. So you can choose which companies you want to commit. So, for example, if I want to just go to, for example, we can go Germany. We've got Japan, Russia, and so on and so on. Hong Kong. You generally want to look at markets that are open. New Zealand, probably don't need, and then apply those settings, and then that will rearrange the news. But again, like I said, our next one is on at 11 London time. So you've got about 2.5 hours to go for that. Just while we're here, trade on point. That's our website. And if you want to go and sign up, please do. All that really does is it gets you, it shows you about our live trading room, your trusted brokers, video library, and so on. And that's our 2K challenge that we're going on at the moment, which we are very sensitive about, trying to make 1%. So back to the charts, we can see it's pretty much pen still drying over here. We are trading between the low value area and the point of control. But And again, if you are new, then trading generally starts just before the London Open. I get about half an hour before the London Open, and then we start trading the London Open, and we will trade generally for about till about 8:30, 8:45. And as we grow, then we'll extend those times out. But for now, we in the room about an hour and a half, Monday to Thursday. And Fridays we don't trade. Fridays family day. Time with the kids and the wife. We're still playing out that. You can see. I mean, it's very conflicting because we our 80 triggers below the is below the trigger line. The CCI pretty much not doing anything, as you can see. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's going to try and take off here. But and we can see the Dow Jones is finally starting to gain some traction here. So the Nasdaq's doing interesting to see. I got a feeling I might going to 90% side trades Nasdaq. Yeah, he'll be having a shitty session as well. 2 hours ago, he was in the market yet. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we didn't have an entry here, pulled below the trigger line as we came back down, went up, still didn't have an entry. This to me is too late to get in, although we had a nice little run here, which is 32.56 is 27 points, and this could go to the moon. But what you'll do is you'll wait for a retracement, so a slight pullback, and then go for a long. But to try and get into this long position now, no, not going to happen. Guys, that's pretty much me for today. I'm going to set my stop, extend my target down. I'll probably put my stop around about 75.24 or 25. I'll run my target down to 74.90. So I've always got to have more than 1-to-1. And 74.90, we can still hope that we've got 5, 12. 25. Where's my next? Nice run by the Dow at the moment. We just pull this trade. You got 75.26 will be my stop, and I'll leave my trade on like that, and I'll either get stopped out or I'll limit out. Hopefully the latter. But until then, look after yourself, trade well, stay safe, and I'll be back in the room about 7:30 London time tomorrow to continue our adventure. Even now with this small loss on the, oh, there we go, and we stopped out on the CL. So even with that loss, we're still in for a small profit today. Not much, but however, unfortunately, sometimes that's how that's how it goes. But until then, all the best, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.